All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to Elder Apostle Great Millstone, who taught me truth and rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutations to Agam out there, scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth, that's serving the truth and all truth and sincerity. To I say Shalom. This is Brother Nabala, continue the video in the spirit. And this video is going to go into, what you see, here on the screen. I'm just going to read it. It says, if you've been watching, before I even, continue to read, you've been watching, we have to, be mindful of how we say things and what we say, because, our video can be flagged or it can be, I forgot how else they do it, but basically they can just flag us if we say certain things. So, that's why I'm bringing that out. It says new Crown Royal 91 variant, MB181, causes surge in China and is spreading in the U.S. It says, according to reports, the CDC says the variant MB1.1.81 tied to surge in China and has been found in several U.S. locations, with cases dating back to late March via airport screenings. And then when you come down here, it says reports confirm that a new Crown Royal 91 strain, NB1.81, which oriented in China and has been linked to a sharp rise in hospitalizations there, says has now been detected in the United States, including New York City. It says a new variant, says NB1.81, which originated in China and has been associated with a significant increase in hospitalizations there, has been detected in the United States, including New York City. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention identified this variant among international travelers arriving at airports in several states, such as California, Washington, Virginia, and New York, during late March and early April 2025. It says while the number of cases in the U.S. remains low, health experts are monitoring the situation closely due to MB1.81's increased transmissibility, which led to a surge in cases across Asia and Hong Kong, for instance. Crown Royal 91 emergency room visits and hospitalizations have reached their highest levels in at least a year, with 81 severe cases and 30 deaths reported among older adults in the past month. It says despite its rapid spread, current data suggests that MB1.81 does not cause more severe illness compared to previous variants. However, there are concerns about its potential to evade existing vaccine protections. U.S. health authorities continue to assess the variant's impact and recommend standard preventable measures, including mask wearing in crowded places, maintaining hand hygiene, and staying up to date with Crown Royal 91 vaccinations. So here you go, man. That's where we're at. And they say this stems back to March. We're in May now, going into June, and they didn't say nothing. Now, if you remember back in 2020, March was the month where they decided to shut everything down. When the case and everything started spreading. So if this is something that happened back in March, why not bring it out then? And now they're bringing it out now. Like, these posts was 2 days ago. So why are they just not bringing it out here in the end of May when we're about to be going into June? Because E is trying to move strategically. They say they knew about this in March. Same in 2020. They said that they knew or heard about it in the November, December. A couple cases, were over in California, because that's where it started from. And then two months, and then really after, because that was the same year, I believe that Kobe had died. January 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Soon as that happened, then that's when everything really kicked off, And it's like the same. They moving the same exact way. They let a couple months go past, and yeah, they supposedly have got their analytics of how many cases, but they're allowing this to happen so it can be spread it out. Then they're gonna say what we brought to your attention now. So then the summer's about to hit, so they know this is where people. There's a lot of traveling, a lot of gatherings. People are going to be in very close encounters with each other, And then next thing you know, 2-3 months down the line, we in another pandemic, But this is how he's moving, because what is their ultimate agenda? Their ultimate agenda is to implement in the MOTB. So this will be a way for them to do that, to have another pandemic, to have to put everything back on lockdown and and then if they put everything back on lockdown, it's not going to be where you have to get just this vaccine and then you're going to be able to go back in public. No, they're going to probably have another vaccine for you to have to take to combat this new variant, but also they're going to say to make sure that we can prevent this from ever happening, and to be more cautious, take this with you. And that's that MOTB CHIP, which is the RFID CHIP, which is the MOTB. So this is not just coming out for no reason. This is just not happening for no reason. This is all, he has his hand in this somehow, and it's the same thing, It happened where did it start before? In Wuhan, China, where they saying it's happening now in the same place. And China they have advanced a lot since then, Mind you, the world is back, opened up, people can go here and the third. But when this thing hit hard over there, China wasn't playing. They had checkpoints set up. They had they wasn't playing. I remember I seen some videos. They had not infrared, but some type of thing where it can tell people's temperature. I forgot what type of device it was, but they wasn't playing over there, So I don't think they'll be, I don't think they would ease up so much to let something like this happen again, But like I say, that's why the first one was called a pandemic, because it was a plan. This is all part of Eve's plan. So I'm gonna grab this. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. If you've been watching and been paying attention, these past, 5 years, you see how E's operate, man. You see how E operate, and especially now he's moving very tacky, because he's coming down with that great wrath, because he know he has but a short time. He know he doesn't have that much longer in rulership. So he's moving very tacky, very very predictable. He's not moving as with that subtlety that he used to move with. He's just moving, recklessly, and we can see it, but it's not everyone can see it, And they've been putting it out there. I remember I was talking to this person, and they asked me, they said, do you think that that they're making all these end of the world shows and movies and stuff because the world is about to end? And I said straight up, yeah. I said, yeah, I do. I said, I'm like, yeah, they know something about to happen, speaking in code, but yeah, they do. And they have, they've been showing you what they're trying to do, through the different movies and shows that they have out here. One show in particular, oh my goodness, Salakia. One show that I can think about for sure, I couldn't say it for sure, is that show Paradise, where they're planning for civilization after like a nuclear war, after a nuke bomb going off, or the end of the world. They're planning for civilization after that. You see that in that show. Another show that brother said is Silos. I haven't watched it yet, but You know, then the movie Mickey 17. I gotta rewatch it because I missed some parts. I was watching it with brothers, but that brother was saying is it's a satire. And then you see the dude supposed to be in control, how he's acting like Trump. He's showing you what he wants to do. That's why we have to make sure that we're being on our watch. I'm gonna come over here. So like 5. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Yeah, he's trying to devour people out here, and mainly he's trying to devour Jake, the Israelites. That's who he's mainly trying to come up against. But his own people's gonna get caught up with it too. Because he doesn't care about, these elites don't care about people in the world, man. They're for themselves. If you're just a regular Edomite out here, they don't care about you, man. But their main target is Jake. But yeah, that's where we're at now. Things are about to start heating up. Trump said that he was trying to go digital by August. So this report came out. We'll see. It's the end of May. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one. Where they might put it on the news, because this is just on the social media. They might, when it hits the news, then what's gonna happen. And then they trying to say in the little article that it don't have severe symptoms as a previous one. But still take precautions. And then when they say make sure that you are up to date with your vaccines, which from them vaccines that they was giving people, a lot of people has health problems from that, and people has died from that. It was a point in time where there's a lot of people just dying, dropping dead. And they was trying to cover it up, whatever reason they wanted to give to it. But I remember I was watching this documentary, and the people that was there when they was doing their autopsies, and they was pulling out the blood clots. The people who was doing the autopsy said these aren't normal blood clots. This is not what this should look like. And they was basically tying it back to is because whatever was in that vaccine was messing with people's body. And that's part of trying to seeking who he can devour, trying to put that stuff up in you, to jack you up. That's why the scriptures say we're not supposed to trust this man. That's why the scriptures say, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. When that happened, you had a lot of people who, he uses that scare tactic. He was able to scare people into what? Getting the vaccine, because basically they were saying if you didn't get it, that you were going, you was likely going, you was going to die. Because they was amplifying the numbers, the cases and the deaths. They was amplifying all of that, to make it seem more than what it was. And scared people into doing that. So that's how he operates, man. I'm gonna grab this. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Yeah, man. Peace and safety. They're saying that we there's some cases here, but as long as you wear mask, hygiene, and stay up to date on your vaccines, everything should be all good. Trying to say that it's not that, like I said, the symptoms are not that severe. That's what they're saying, to make everything seem all good. But then what? Another lockdown. Brothers been saying, that they think another lockdown is gonna happen, and it would make sense. I remember I was talking to one of the brothers, and I said, we just talking, and I said, yeah, Trump say you wanna, Trump wanna have things digital by the summer. My brother said he's gonna have to lock stuff down for that to happen, and I understand why he says that. He's not gonna. Yeah, you know, you have a lot of top thing right now, but cash is still in effect. You know, some businesses still accept cash. You still can do dealings with cash. You know, you can't just out of nowhere say, okay, we're not using cash no more. It has to be a reason. You know, they're not making a penny no more either. They discontinue from making a penny. And it can go and it can increase from there, from the dime to the nickel to the quarter to dollars to $2 bills to $5. Or you can just come straight for all. Lock it down. We're not dealing no more with cash. Everything has to be tap pay. Or you can just say, we ain't dealing no more with none of that. You have to have this MOTB inside you for you to be able to do anything. And that's what we're leading towards, man. Roads are leading towards to MOTB, man. And that's why it's up to us to make evident what it is, man. It's the RFID CHIP. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to that. This is Revelations 13 and 16. I'm going to start at 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. What is that image of the beast? The image of the beast is talking about the NWO system that he's trying to and is going to set up. The MWO system is going to be set up, man. They're doing the things behind closed doors and right in front of our face, showing you that we're leading towards the NWO system, not New World Order. And it says, and the image of the beast should both speak. And how does it speak? It speaks through the Congress and Senate, man. You know, through the laws that they pass. We see a lot of executive orders that he's doing. You know, things that he's trying to put in effect. There's a lot of stuff that has been signed and people have forgot about. But it's in effect, and some of them things are going to come in effect soon. It says, and he causes, and it says in that same verse, cause that many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. If you don't conform to this man's image, man, then you're going to be looked at as a threat to his society, and they're going to come against you. And it is killed. A lot of people are going to die if you don't conform to E's image. And verse 16 says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and their foreheads. And that mark, that goes to charagma, man. The word there, when you look it up in the blue letter, is charagma, which goes and it goes to being something physical, you know, something carnal, you know, a physical print that's going to be put inside of you in your right hand or on your forehead. Because you see the brain, Elon Musk, in his brain, CHIP, Neuralink, you know. They're showing you these things that they're planning to do to everybody. You know, the show Black Mirror shows you about that. The Neuralink. This is where we're heading towards. And that mark is the RFID CHIP. And if you refuse to get that, then you most likely can be killed for not taking it. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Yeah. You're not going to be able to buy and sell. You're going to be excommunicated from out of E's society. That's why the scriptures say be pilgrims among the earth. You know, for us in this truth, man, we understand that we're going to be excommunicated from this society. We understand that a lot of people we know, family, friends, whoever, is going to take it. So we're not going to be able to dwell in them. We're not going to be able to dwell amongst these people in the world. We're going to be, Yahweh is out, we get to be around brothers. But if not, if you got to be out here on your own, man, you're going to have to move. We're going to have to truly have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, to be with us, you know, and to, you know, steer us where to go, you know, as well as if we are with brothers, you know, the Spirit is still going to be leading us. You know, that's all we're going to have to rely on. you know, because like he did, like Trump did with the Northern Kingdom. If you turn people in, you can get paid this amount of money, man. You think they're not gonna do the same thing when the MOTB is in effect? If you know somebody who doesn't have it, turn them in. Turn them in where? To this concentration camp. Because that's where they're going to take you if you refuse not to get it. Because at first, they're going to make it, they're going to make it seem like it's optional, But then it's going to be mandatory. And when it's made mandatory, then there's it. And if you don't have it, like I said, you're going to be looked as a threat, as a terrorist to each society. And they're going to throw you in that concentration camp. And they're going to try to break you into getting it. It's still going to be a choice, man. It's not going to be forced on you. It's going to be a choice. You're going to have to choose to be a part of each system, man. And if you don't, if you choose to be a part of each system, then you're going to partake in the same judgment that's coming to this place. But if you don't, if you stand safely for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, then you're going to receive the reward that comes with that, But we also have to be prepared for being beheaded. We might have to be martyrs for this truth, man, but that's okay. Because like the scriptures say, our works do follow us. If you die in this ministry, which you understand we don't truly die, our spirit is going to be with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And then when Yahushai returns, we're going to be raised up. The first ones to be raised up. So there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of, man. As long as we continue to hold on to this truth, man, and continue in it, the Lord got us. So yeah, if we have to be martyrs for this truth, it is what it is. If not, if we got to sit in a concentration camp, we have to sit in there. Revelation 2:10 said, matter of fact, let me grab it. Revelation 2:10, it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. It doesn't mean exactly 10 days, just that's a complete number of days or time you're going to be in there. It could be days, it could be months, we don't know. It could be weeks. But as long as what? It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of love. Yeah. So if you do die, you're going to get the crown of life. The point is being faithful, man. All the way up until that point. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to close out. The Revelations 3:10 says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man might take that crown." Yeah, that hour of temptation, man. When that MOTB is made mandatory. And you have to make that decision. Are you going to take it or are you not? If we keep the word and keep the patience, then the Lord's going to keep that hour of temptation from us, man. He's going to be with us. And if we be faithful until death, man, we're going to get that crown of life. And we hold on to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding all the way to the end, and don't lose our crown, man. Don't let no one take our crown from us, not even ourselves. Then we're gonna inherit the kingdom, man. We're gonna be saved, man. And that's where our mindset has to be at, Whatever comes up against us with, tries to do, man, continue to have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So that's pretty much it. Lord willing, this video is edifying. I'm gonna close. I'll be giving our praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Rakakadash. Shalom.